Did you guys see that little guy? That's a baby river cooter. We've got our little garden pond here. I'm working on a number of projects up in this garden pond, but we're starting to let some things live in it. And little Jimmy there, he's not very afraid of us. So we definitely like the fact we can come up here, peek around a little bit, and he'll just be chilling. Enough distractions for the moment. In this video, I want to talk to people who are gardening, potentially especially those who are getting into gardening and kind of overwhelmed with some of the idea of the whole thing. I mean, there's preparing the soil, there's tilling, there's fertilizing, there's building raised beds, there's knowing how deep to sow different things, what likes sun, what doesn't, how much to water them, what time to harvest them, you know. There's a lot of different things that go into it. And then there's, you know, dehydrating, freezing, canning, pressure canning, hot water baths, all those different things, which kind of can be overwhelming. But it's actually a lot easier and a lot simpler than all that, especially to get started. And basically there's two ways to look at gardening as far as a main food supply way. The one is that in season, you know, when the things are producing, you'll have something to eat. You've planted enough that it helps supplement your diet. It provides you some food on a regular basis, you know, a couple times throughout the week, maybe daily, maybe weekly, depending on what it is. And for a period of time, you can kind of go out and grab and eat fresh. And then the other kind of mentality in gardening is just growing a ton of it. And you can grow a ton of it to share, barter, and trade. You could grow a ton of it to have a CSA to sell at a farmer's market. You could grow a ton of it to preserve and put up a lot where each year you try to grow a year's supply of pickles or a year's supply of, you know, whatever you're doing. Get a whole bunch of winter squash to last you through the winter and into the, you know, next spring or whatever it may be. So if you're starting, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that you're not trying to run a CSA. You're not trying to put up a year's supply of food. What you're trying to do is to get your feet wet. What you're trying to do is start providing some of your food, and at least for your growing season, be able to need less. The cool thing is if you're able to tap into what you're growing, then a lot of the things you already have that have a decent shelf life, whether they're dried goods or canned goods, whatever non-perishables you have, you know, those can be saved for the fall, the winter. You don't need to tap into those as much, and you can start growing more of your own stuff in season. So I'm just going to show you guys a couple things and talk a little bit about them, and hopefully some of you will find this encouraging. Hopefully some of you guys will think about this and be like, you know what, yeah, it's not that bad, it's not that overwhelming. It is something I can do, because one thing I've found is a couple times I've shared some stuff recently, and people will show up and they've just got this attitude of like, oh, well, that's impossible. Nobody can really do that. Maybe that works for you, but you know, this is the real world. And if you've always got the mentality of everything being impossible, what you're going to find is that you're going to accomplish very, very little. You're not going to be able to do too much because everything's impossible for you, right? So here's one example. A little quieter from the guineas and a little quieter from the pond, but this is one of my salad beds. Got some purple lady bok choy. I'm letting some of it go to flower and seed. Got some oak leaf lettuce, and got some other red lettuce there, and some mizuna. I don't know all the varieties per se, but I know these are all edible, tasty salad greens. So what I can do is I can come out here and cut all of this down and then have the problem of trying to store it all. Or I can grab what my family needs. Sometimes, because we have a family of 6 children and 2 adults, we need a little bit more than what others would. But what I like to do to make it easy on myself is to pick a serving size. I'll grab an actual strainer and I'll come out with a sharp knife or some really sharp scissors. Something like this one's going to bolt. It's going to make me some seeds here in a minute, this purple lady bok choy. Those lower leaves can all be eaten right now. So let's run out here and snip off some of them. What I can do is, depending on how I want to eat this, what I like to do is this. I'll just take those scissors and that strainer and I'll cut them into whatever size I want right out here. Then when I get back to the kitchen, I don't need a knife, I don't need a cutting board. All I need to do is give them a rinse, maybe a spin in the salad spinner, and it's ready to go because I did all the prep work as I was harvesting it. I grab some of this red leaf lettuce here. Beautiful looking stuff. Okay, line it all up, and I'll just snip it into the appropriate sizes for a salad for us. All I'm gonna do is come out here today, spend a couple minutes, kind of like if I walked to the fridge and grabbed out some salad from the store and washed it and then prepared it, you know, diced it up and stuff. I just come out here instead. I'll take a peek at some of the ones I want, I'll snip them off, and then I'll just slowly cut them up. Put them in the right size, give them a little rinse back at the house in a minute, and we're good to go. And then tomorrow, if we want another salad, I'll just do the same thing. It takes a little bit more, you know, of a journey than just walking to the refrigerator. But what it does is it allows me to kind of have a continual harvest of this salad. And there's a couple different ways I can do it. I can selectively go through, you know, like plant by plant, or just kind of hit all the tall ones on every plant, or just kind of mow through an area. So what I like to do with my salad greens here, this oak leaf lettuce, is just kind of start. I've got a row here, I'll mow through, then another row, I'll mow through. Then I'll mow down that one, mow down this one, mow down this one, and then by that time, I'll be ready to start over here again. So I'm just kind of taking stuff off, cutting it up into a little piece, and this is, first of all, an amazing blend because we have so much variety here. But second of all, you can't get much fresher than this because the time from when I'm out here cutting it up and getting it ready for my family to the time when we eat it is just going to be minutes, really. The only thing making it take a little longer today is just making this video. So this is something I believe anyone can do if you've just got a little a potted garden on your patio or your balcony. You can do the same thing. And rather than being overwhelmed trying to harvest it all at once, you know, just take what you need for the day and then get back out there the next day and do it again, or wait a couple days depending on your supply. This is where I could eat every day for probably about 2 weeks straight, where we could have a salad a day easy, and by that point it would be regrowing and we could continue that even longer. So guys, that's a quick peek at that. Like I said, all I need to do is get back home and take a rinse and we'll be good to go. Let me show you something else here. So if you look here, there's a couple different rhubarb plants. Rhubarb is one of those cool perennials. It can be enjoyed raw or cooked. A lot of people use it in desserts like pies or crisps. Sometimes we'll kind of cook it up and use it with our oatmeal. But the leaves are poisonous, the stems are not. One thing that I do, and I hit them, there's 3 different sections of plants here, but I hit them all the other day. But what I do is I just come out here again with my scissors and my thing. I just cut down all the stems that I want, whatever will work for a minute. I kind of cut them up where they almost look like little red celery sticks. Right? Take down what I want, make a little baggie, throw it in the fridge, and then just let the kids eat through it. If I dice them up like this, you know, when I'm out here, just give them a rinse when I get home, dry them off a little bit, and I put them in the fridge where the kids can have them as a snack. They're kind of tart, kind of tangy, but they love them. They're sitting there, and over the course of a week or so, they'll have these all gone. And then I can come back out and start snipping off whatever's regrown. I have a number of plants here that I can work myself through, and you know, I could preserve this in different ways, or we could just kind of eat it as it comes, and if we ever get a really big harvest, then either share with friends is a great way to go, or then worry about different preservation methods. One thing that does work well for us is we just dice it really small, like you would celery to add to a soup, and then we freeze that in bags to use later in different desserts. But real nice, easy way just to sit there, and there's really no preservation needed. We're kind of just eating it as it comes in season, using this as some sort of substitute for some other thing that they'd be munching on, and then we don't have to worry about just all of that preservation and things that go into, you know, canning or other stuff that can be kind of intimidating for people. And if you guys have seen my garden, you do know that there is peas growing in, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 or 17, yeah, different spots. So a lot of places I look around, I've got peas. Eventually there's going to be a bunch of those that come in that we may decide to do something with as far as preservation. But the cool thing is, especially with as many as we planted in a family our size, what we can do is what we did yesterday. And as they're forming, okay, the traditional way a lot of people eat peas is they wait till they get all the way mature in there almost, and they open them and then they shell them and then they have them as all those little balls. Well, you can also just take the whole pod when they're young like this, depending on your variety, and be able just to use that in like a stir fry or eat them raw. Take them like this. Well, I will right now. Yep. Eat them raw, just plain by themselves, or put them in some sort of salad dressing to dip them in. But we just gathered a bunch of these, me and Monster Truck, and we filled a little strainer. We really like strainers out here, and I love cutting down on things like cutting boards and knives and kitchen time. If I can have garden time over kitchen time, I love it. So we just cut off a bunch of these, filled enough we thought was a good amount for our family, brought them in the house, rinsed them off, and just threw them right in the stir fry. If you do that kind of continual harvest, because pea plants, these ones will put out like 2 here, and they'll put out 2 here, and then 2 here, and then 2 here, and they'll keep growing for quite a while. So if they're not spending all their energy bringing this one into full maturity, and we snip these off, then they'll go produce more. So we're able just to kind of continually, I could probably eat them every day of the week if we wanted, or we can take a couple days off and you know, just make it simple. But two, the thing to consider about peas is, say you got a variety that you can use like this as a pod. Okay, both the pod, the outer shell, and the seeds, the peas on the inside, can be edible on a lot of varieties at certain stages. A lot of people just grow them for the inside peas. But for me, to wait for these peas to reach full maturity and then to shuck them all and get all the peas out of there and have all the pods separate, feed them to the chickens or use them in the compost or whatever, that's a lot of effort. And I'm thinking if I just take this whole thing, throw it in the pan, first of all, it's a lot less effort, but second of all, it also, I think it gives us more food. So actually what I'm gonna do is grab a number of these fresh ones here that are about ready to go, and I'm just gonna add some of those to my salad because I got a couple more things I'm gonna put in there. So I'm just gonna grab, I'll probably grab a couple more handfuls like that quick, but then just cut them up, add them to my salad, and I'll show you guys this salad here at the end. But I'm thinking it's gonna be pretty much a really good banger salad. Absolutely love it, all fresh from the garden. And really, all I'm getting dirty is my scissors and my strainer. And I would have got some sort of cutting utensil and the strainer dirty anyway, no matter what I did. So, all right, I'll see you guys in a sec. So I also added some walking onions, some kale, some scapes, some wild garlic greens, and then here's those peas kind of all chopped up. I mix that in there, and it'll get more mixed up as I clean it and put in the salad spinner, but you've got a really vibrant, fresh, tasty, great looking salad. I'm not even sure if my family's gonna be able to eat this whole one with as bulky as it is, but if we don't finish it for lunch, we can have it for dinner. And depending on what we make our salads out of in kind of a fresh harvest like this, if we don't finish an entire one for lunch raw, sometimes I'll cook them for supper. So this one I probably wouldn't because it's got so much actual salad greens in it, but a lot of times we have kale-based salads, and I'll just use it as a cooked green when we get done for dinner then, after we have a salad for lunch. And I was just out picking some strawberries just from a couple of little areas. There's a lot more areas than this, but I'm gonna add these to it too. Cool thing is when we have people over at our house. Sometimes they've seen some of our videos, sometimes they're just friends, but we'll often just give them a tour of this and let them kind of have a taste test kind of garden tour too. So we just had some friends over who stopped by yesterday, and they had some children, and they were able to harvest pretty much as many strawberries as they wanted. And then we've already got this many, you know, ready right away the next morning, and I didn't even check all the beds. So I'm just gonna dice these up, add these two there, and I'll close you guys out. Guys, that is not bad for a salad. And know the size of your family, know the size of your salad spinner, your strainers or whatever. If I cut this all too small and put it in my salad spinner, it'd just all go out with the water. But this is pretty good for our family and for our salad spinner. So guys, in a lot of this, I consider there really to be no rights or wrongs. It's whatever works for you as you begin growing stuff. I just wanted to share this so that some of you guys who may be kind of overwhelmed thinking about the whole thing, like I said, from pressure canning to raised beds to tilling and fertilizing, well, you know, everything that goes into it. Just start small. I did a video a while ago about the best advice to kind of start gardening, and the gist of it was basically just do a short season crop. You know, a radish you can harvest in about a month, some in 3 weeks. There's things that you can get a quick ROI, a quick return on your investment, and that's going to encourage you. I'll try to remember to pin that in the first comment. Link to that video if you guys want to check that out more in depth. But this eventually becomes a lifestyle. The main reason I garden, as I frequently mention, is because I eat food. And I love being able to come do something like this. It becomes a lifestyle where if I'm hungry, I won't always walk to the fridge or to the cupboard, to the pantry. I walk out to the garden and I begin to look around and see what's ready, what's available. And we can do this, you know, every day or a couple times a week for months on end, and it just kind of changes. Eventually you'll see cucumbers in here and peppers and tomatoes and different things like that. Right now it's peas and strawberries, so it just kind of transitions through the seasons, but it's a good way where I don't have to worry about preservation. I don't have to worry much about dishes, and we get to eat, we get to garden, we get to grow, and it serves its purpose, because the purpose of gardening to me is to be able to eat. That's what we're doing. And this is a very simple way to do it. And if the kids want a dessert snack, I'll give them a rhubarb stick. All right, guys, hopefully that helped. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Papa out.